Okay, we've got a video here. We've got a question here. Porn-related erectile, ED, erectile dysfunction. Is this the question here? So this is a question from my coaching group, Durianrider.com. We have a coaching group where we answer all the questions. Remember I got this hat in 2011 when I was running a race in New York and got it printed up in Thailand. Anyway, this is the question here. It's a 23-year-old athlete. He's trained up for the, he's very fit. He's qualified for the Ironman World Champs. He's studying at university, finally at uni, also between jobs. His current goal is Kona Ironman 2021. So he's training hard. So he's doing the university. He's training up for the Ironman. Like, there's a lot on your plate. So this is the question. He's recently been unvirginized. This is his question. I think I'm quite horny when it comes to images, porn, etc. I beat off a few times a week my whole life since I was 7, I think. And technically, I've been a virgin until last month. So a 23-year-old virgin. I can get a boner from cuddling, something like this. But when it's time to have intercourse at 4 a.m. after some foreplay, my pee-pee said it was time to sleep. 4 a.m. I mean, sometimes if you have there's so many variables here. So many variables. We'll read it out and we'll get to point by point. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just address the points as they come up. So if your pee-pee goes to sleep, that can be many things. It can be like anxiety in your head. You're like, anxiety meaning you're overthinking things. Anxiety is normal. All right? Anxiety is normal in life. If you don't have anxiety, then you're numb as heck and you're really just boring to be around because you're not really conscious. Being conscious and anxiety, hand in hand. Unconscious, no anxiety, not even thinking, that's not good. That's not safe. So you want to have anxiety, right? But the excess anxiety where it affects your performance, that's where we want to bring it down a bit, all right? Just like you need sunshine every day. But too much sunshine, you look like a lobster, give yourself skin damage. Not good. But you need sunshine. You need anxiety in your life, all right? You never want to medicate anxiety, in my opinion. You want to feel it. All right, you want to feel it and process it. You're alive there. So that's the deal. Anxiety can be an issue. You're overthinking things, and then all your blood's going from your hindbrain, your 3 parts of your brain, your front lobe, your middle lobe, your rear lobe. It's going from the reptile brain of stimulation to the front where you're just like overthinking things, and the reptile brain's just like, oh, pee go sleep. Pee go sleepy. So you just want to put the blood back, reptile brain. And just focus on being present. Focus on being present and not in too much fun in the future, etc. And that just comes to experience, man. It just comes to experience. You have to put yourself in the zone with experience. All right, like this is like I was just scruffing. I've got a feral cat in my bathroom. We've got a cat. We're going to into sex or whatever. But this cat has massive anxiety, massive. Psycho. I put on these thick gloves. It's biting me. It's clawing me. Feral as it gets. The cat's got a lot of anxiety, so I'm grabbing it, scruffing it, just gently, firmly, and just patting it. And it's like, just going crazy. I'm just getting that cat, just breaking it in, turning it out, right? Getting that pussy, taming that pussy, right? You have to become a pussy tamer in life, and the only way to do that is experience, okay? And if you don't do that, then the anxiety just stays with you till you're 80 years of age. So you just have to do the hard yards. You have to have pee go sleepy and then overcome that mentally, etc. You can use Cialis and Viagra's and all those things. And that can be like a bit of a booster of momentum and stuff like that. And I've had experience using those things because I'm a man of experience here. And that's why my voice has conviction, my protocol has conviction, because what I say works. Because I've had experiences. I'm not just reading some study, meta-analysis, and then they're actually doing it and coaching people on how to get the results. So, these ED drugs can help you as like a bit of a booster maybe, but they're very addictive and that you'll start to rely on them, right? And that's how the big pharma companies understand that. Like, well, now you've got your little pill addiction and we've got our customer for life. Fantastic. So, you could use one of these things to get going, but chances are, if you don't have the emotional muscle to deal with a sleepy pee-pee, then you'll just be on that stuff, on those pills forever. And that's just like, that's no good, because you don't want to be dependent on any pill. You want to be dependent on yourself, And then women can smell that, and then it just enhances the experience. So whilst there's a time and place for pharma stuff, I don't really recommend it as the holistic approach. You can experiment with it, but then again, are you mature enough to be able to experiment with something without becoming addicted to it? Not many people are, right? So you got to know where you're at. As you get older and more mature, you can just have experiences and go, oh, experiment. Oh, yeah, cool. But a lot of people get addicted to stuff. Opioids, steroids, stimulants, things like that, alcohol. All right, so you got to understand what sort of person you are. And yeah, so I would just recommend relax. It's okay. Anxiety is totally normal. 4 a.m., you've had massive stimulation for hours and hours and hours. You're almost getting blue balls. And then your body's like, oh, so it's not the best time. That's okay. Just go to sleep, massage, relax. It's okay, right? Laugh about it. It's okay. Pee go sleepy. No big deal, all right? Try again another time, all right? So, and then you just have to keep working on it. You just have to keep putting yourself in the zone, overcoming it, understanding that the smooth tissue in the penile area, it has its own mood sometimes. Right? Sometimes it's like, it's going to work with you. Sometimes it's going to work against you. This is how it is. There's nutrition, there's diet, there's training. If you're training for Ironman and you're sitting in a hard saddle that's not really helping your perineal function there, then that can create a bit of numbness as well, which can be a bit of an issue. Right? So if you're doing a lot of hours on the bike, then that can reduce sensitivity. That's a factor as well. There's so many variables here. There's hormonal, which sounds you're fine because you're doing your Ironman stuff and you're having, these moments. That sounds you're okay there. And I know because I speak from personal experience. I've used exogenous hormones. I've had my levels super high, my levels super low, and everything in between. And I'll just sit back here with confidence and speak from experience that hormones are very, very important. But the brain is the most important. And just controlling those thoughts, controlling that anxiety, feeling the anxiety, working with it, understanding it's normal and natural, and going with it. What advice can I offer? So this guy, he's, he thinks he has porn-induced ED. I don't think you do, bro. I think you do. And also when I say bro, I mean it in a nice way. I don't think you do. He says, I could get by without any sexual intercourse because I don't have a strong desire to do it. All right, so for me, I'm mainly worried about my girlfriend here, so I'm thinking of him taking some Viagra or something, but it would only be the only pill I've took in 6 years, and obviously it's trash. So I really think that this guy isn't really into this girl. All right, that's a big one. Like if you're really, really into the girl, then you're gonna be into the girl, and the parts of your body will be like into that as well. But again, there's the anxiety period as well. People will be like, oh, I don't know, but I've been there, trust me, like when you're into a girl, you say, oh, you don't. Simple as that. And if you're not, you'd be like, And again, there is some, what's the word? There is some context here as well, because maybe you're tired. Maybe you've ridden, 8 hours on the bike and you've just been crushing your perineal nerves all day. So you're just like, I'm keen, but my body ain't working. So there's that too as well. But if you're fresh, everything's great, fantastic, and you just like, your heart, you just like can't get it going, you're just not that into her. Maybe it's her mood, maybe it's how she smells, maybe it's she's being insecure about herself. She's like, yeah, and you're just like, oh man, I don't find you sexy. You might look great, but you're not sexy because you're not confident. Right? Sexiness is confidence. It's not beauty. Beauty and sexiness, total different things. All right? You can have someone who's really beautiful, but they ain't sexy because they're not confident. You can have someone who's not a model, not considered beauty in the eyes of mainstream Revlon adverts, but super sexy because she's super confident. She knows what guys like. She knows what she likes, and she's a seductress. All right? So beauty and sexy, total different things. So maybe you find your girl beautiful, but not sexy. All right? And that's fine. That's not good or bad. It just is what it is. I'm wearing a hat, I'm wearing a shirt. Not good or bad. Is what it is. Don't take it personally, people. Sometimes people are into us, sometimes they're not. That's okay. Same for us. Sometimes we're into someone, sometimes we're not. And again, it could be times of the month, Could be the training load, or things like that. So, maybe this guy's really into the girl, but his training is priority, and he's got different goals going on there. So that can create, a whole different mental focus. Right? So again, this is, as much as I love to give answers, and nutrition's very, very black and white, when it comes to the sexual mind, arousals, and there's so many variables there. There's hormonal, there's traditions, religions. There's, fatigue. There's, perennial tissue, contractile tissue being munched up by the bike saddle all day a week. There's like anxiety, performance anxiety. Will I be as good as her last man, or blah 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 blah? And it doesn't matter. Like, there's always someone better out there than you, and also someone worse than you out there. And it's like, we can create so many situations and stories in our head, and just create this like really. We can put brakes in our performance. You got the accelerator, you got the brake, all right? And you can just accelerate your performances by thinking more positively in the real world. Or you put brakes on things by going, I don't know if I'm, and it doesn't matter how big your girth is or whatever. If you're like, she'll be like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? This guy's got no confidence. That can dry up the monsoon to Sahara real quick. Right? So confidence is really important. Confidence is the number one sexy thing for people with experience. So, when you're very young and inexperienced, beauty is like, something people are into more so. But then as you get older and you have a few more experiences, you appreciate sexiness and confidence and enjoyment and giving and pleasing and things like that. So anyway, that's a bit of a wrap up. Have I really answered the question? He says it seems like I can't get hard with real women, which is pretty stressful. But you can. All right, if you can get hard to porn, you can get hard with a real woman. You can. All right, you can. And what your situation is totally normal. It's not, what do you call it? Porn related ED. Like, it's porn induced ED. That when you give yourself that label, be careful with that, man. Because that's an identity you give yourself. Like, you're giving yourself, you're an Ironman athlete, all right? So you run 42.2K. You don't run 39.4, you run 42.2K in the Ironman. That's your identity. So if you're telling yourself, I've got porn-induced ED, then you fulfill that prophecy. You become that, all right? So what I would say is the identity you want to give yourself is, I'm new to the sex game, and I'm learning. And I'm willing to learn. And I understand that the more experiences I have, the bigger my toolbox gets. And size matters when it comes to our toolbox experience. All right? Yeah. There's not a woman out there who wants a guy with less experience. That's not true at all. Women want men with experience. So you want to have experienced guys, rack up the mileage, things like that. Men judge a woman on a past. I don't make these rules up, this is just how it works. Women judge a man on the experiences he can provide and where he's going in life. Think about that. Men judge a woman on her past. Women judge a man on his experience level, what he can bring to the table, where he's going in the future. Simple as that. So, understanding that, and there's obviously a bit of grey area and crossovers and context and stuff like that. There's a general statements. They're not 100% locked in. There's grey areas, there's overlap, okay? It's not like nutrition and power data. It's pretty black and white, but when we're talking what someone defines as sexy or as arousal or interesting, you got a lot of crossover there. You got heteros and bis and closets and all sorts of things going on out there, So it's a deep field, the relationship one. But in terms of the sexual identity you want to give yourself, you're in a situation, it's okay, all right? It's okay. You could have saddle compression issues. You could have, maybe not really that into the girl, or maybe you're like, I'm into her, but I'm also more into my training because that's really ticking my boxes. So my arousal level right now is not so much. But if I had an injury and took time off the bike, then all of a sudden, boom, I'd be like, wow, forget Ironman. I'm becoming a sex man, So it depends on many, many factors. But the biggest take home to answer your question is be careful with what labels you give yourself, because those labels can cripple your performance massively, right? Just relax, breathe in, breathe out, understand the PP can go in and out, the smooth contractile tissue can just, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not, sometimes it comes back in 10 minutes, sometimes it goes for 5 minutes, it's okay. Different positions as well, laying on your side, the blood can pull up better, you know what I mean? Sometimes if you're upside down, it's like, it just depends, you know what I mean? So it's just having experiences, learning which angles work best for you, go on top, go underneath, blah, 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 on the side, against the wall, in the kitchen, hands up, hands down, legs on the shoulders, picking her up, whatever. Just got to work out which technique works best for you in your arousal. And that's only going to happen by trying different things. Trying different things. And then go from there. It's a wonderful world, but it's a big steep wall. And it's full of barbed wire. And you're going to start to doubt yourself. And people might start to doubt you as well. And that's just the world we live in. Okay, so it's okay. It's normal what you're experiencing. Your hormone levels, I would say, are fine, based on the fact when you have low testosterone, you have pretty much zero interest in women. As a straight man, you become like, let's just hang out and talk, and let's just cuddle, and let's just go for a walk, let's just go for a picnic. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you become like a monk. You become like a 10-year-old boy or whatever, or you just become like, it's quite amazing. And then when your T levels are really high, your DHT is really high, and you're just like, just a different world, it's a different reality. But yeah, be careful what ID you give yourself, what identity you give yourself. You're okay now. You're just at the start of your journey. You're 23, you're getting into that world of women. It's a beautiful world, a lot of experiences there, a lot of lessons to learn, and a lot of ways to burn yourself. All right, so yeah. Let me know if this answered your question. We can dive deep into it a bit more. It's a big topic. It goes very, very deep. It goes very, very wide. There's a lot of girth, a lot of length. And, pun intended, it's there, It's normal. And here's the thing, man. It's great you're talking about it. It's great you're seeking advice. You're seeking like, I feel like I could improve in this area of my life. Durianrider, what would you do? What should I do? Let's have more of a discussion. If you've got any more questions, people, Durianrider.com, or leave some comments down below. We'll see you next video.